Gang Minecrafters, this is MC Rep, and if you haven't heard the best song of all time that's been put into the best game of all time, then you need to stop right now, look on YouTube and look up Pig Step Minecraft. You can even go on my channel and look up the rap that I did for it. Actually, don't do that, that's terrible, but you need to do that first because that's the real MVP of this past snapshot. Nevertheless, if you heard it already, if you just want to stay, that's fine. Today we're going to be talking about how this past snapshot has changed so much for Minecraft. Talking about 3 points specifically, Nether only survival with a hint of regular survival, Nether starting speedruns with speedruns in general, as well as lore. These are 3 things that I think that this update changes dramatically. I think that this Nether update is really giving us a new way to play Minecraft, and this update is really setting that in stone. Starting off with the Nether only survival, you guys know that I'm a huge fan of this challenge, and this thing really gives us a great place to live. The Piglin Bastions, if you can just get a bit of gold armor, just get gold boots, you just need 4 golden nuggets, and then you can take advantage of this entire fortress, just being able to live among the Piglins, completely safe from them at the very least. I mean, you still have everything else, but from the Piglins, which dominate the majority of the Bastions, you can live safely and continue to trade with them, continue to build your resources. I think that is huge for Nether only survival to have access to Piglins in any biome except the basalt delta. So in any biome, that's with my second point being lots of loot. With great loot is great. As I said before, you know, this thing, it can spawn in the warp forest. If you've watched my guide to like surviving in the Nether, I think it's very important to try and start in the warp forest if you're either controlling it or if you just have access to it. You know, usually that's your best bet, because Piglins, nothing dangerous really spawns there except Endermen. And as long as you don't look at them or hit them, you're fine. So it's a great place to try to start your game off. And if we can also have the Bastions occasionally spawning in the biome, you can try to start yourself off in one part, get some gold, and then head over there, and then you have immediate access to Piglins. You have immediate access to Blackstone. It's incredible. Like, it really changes the dynamic of how you might want to go about doing another only survival challenge. I think it's great. And of course, just as I said before, in overall survival, it gives great loot. As you've seen, if you were watching the live stream or anybody else's videos, you will see some of the loot, like obsidian, crying obsidian, like loads of crying obsidian. Like, that's something that you would want to trade Piglins for in order to get your respawn point, but you can just find it in the chests. Of course, you have to be a bit careful about like how you open the chest so the Piglins don't start attacking you, but like that's huge. Like, you can create your respawn anchor just from the chest in the Bastions alone, and I think that's huge. They come with netherite armor and tools. Like, that's insane. Like, that's insane. Like, just think about it from a non-Nether only spam point. Like, if you're doing everything you want in the old world and then you're going to the Nether, all you have to do is just get a mending book and find a couple Bastions, and who knows how much netherite armor you might have. There's been netherite armor, netherite scraps, as well as ancient debris in these chests, and I think that's super duper cool, especially being able to find it so easily in the sense of you can just get it out of a chest. I think that's insane if they don't change that. I mean, they came with like string, spectral arrows, and other tools as well. There's just other things just to kind of help you along the way if you need, you know, arrows for your bow, because feathers don't really spawn in the Nether. So you need a way at least to get some arrows, so maybe you can start your skeleton farm in one of the Soul Sand valleys, or you know, you can use those arrows to fight off the gas in the meantime. I don't know, but like getting string, getting other things that, you know, you can't, some of those things that you can get from trading with Piglins, but you know, that's not the most reliable way to do everything. But given that it gives you so much in those chests, and as well, I shouldn't even have to mention the amount of gold that you can get, that you can use to trade with the Piglins to get more things on top of everything else. I think it's absolutely insane. For survival, especially Nether only survival, Bastions give us so much more. The second point is Nether starting speedruns. I would love for this to be a new category, a very solid category for the future. I would love for us to be able to start in the Nether and then speedrun to the Ender Dragon. I think that'd be awesome. It really changes the dynamic of like how you have to go about doing things and how we're picking seeds. And I think finding either a good Bastion or even better, a good perfect ruined portal would be really good. Like being able to in the Nether have a portal already built for you to get back out is insane. Like, I think that's great. Either finding one of those, the chests inside the Bastions can give you so much obsidian, so you might be able to just build one from inside there. And I'm pretty sure I've seen either like flint and steel or fire charges inside those chests as well. I might be confusing it with one of the other chests from the ruined portal, but either way, like, that's incredible. I think that's incredible. Given that these chests, you don't have to rely on Piglin trading for obsidian. So before, I was thinking of this challenge, and I was like, so if I want to get out the Nether, the only way to get obsidian reliably on a large scale is to trade with Piglins, and like that adds a lot of RNG to the speedrun. And so the speedrun's coming down less to skill and more to who can get the best trades randomly from a Piglin. But this, if we can figure out how the loot tables work for the Bastions, if the loot happens to stay the same or it's very similar, then we can, reliably get a seed that has the amount of obsidian we need in order to get out, in order to use that obsidian rather than relying on Piglin bartering. As I said, when it comes to speedruns in general, those ruined portals can spawn in the overworld as well. And so I think it's very, very possible that we could find either a fully built ruined portal that just needs to be lit, or one that has a few pieces missing, but the chest near it has the other blocks in it and the block and the tool you need to light it, either a flint and steel or a fire charge. And that's insane. So what happens when we find a seed that has a very good ruined portal / portal chest, and a very good end portal, like it has like either half or most of the Eye of Enders in there. That's incredible. I think that's absolutely insane. That kind of possibility can change speedruns a lot, because we don't have to, like, if we can find that seed, we don't have to worry about any lava bucket techniques or getting a diamond pickaxe. Like, we don't have to worry about that. We can just place 2 blocks and light it and go. And I think that's incredible. Of course, like, if you've seen some of those speedruns, like those things are incredibly fast. Like, those are some fast lava bucket skills, but if we can do it even faster, if we can shave 10 seconds off, like, that means the world to speedrunning. I think that's insane. And when it comes to lore, I think this is a very interesting thing, because if we look at the names of these things, we have, ruined portals, like these are ruins, and Bastion remnants. Like, of course, they initialized them as saying Piglin Bastions, but in this snapshot, they told us that they're Bastion remnants. They're remnants of something else. And so what I think this might tie along exactly with, like, why we might be able to not open their chests. What I think is, Piglins are the ones, like, or maybe I should say ancient Piglins, lived in these Bastions a long time ago, and our new age Piglins are living in them now, as they're kind of like just living in like a historical building in their culture, in their cultures per se. And like, I think that's super cool. So I think that might be like why we might find like ancient debris and netherite tools in their chests, because it comes from a long time ago maybe, and because they're not using it, and they don't want us to open it because it's their ancestors' possessions. They left it there for them, and they don't want to kind of disturb their peace probably. I think that's a very interesting idea for like a lore perspective. And the portals are called ruin portals. Like, these are ruins. Like, not only do they have the like Piglin blocks around them, the black stone blocks with the Piglin nose engraved in one of them, but like they have gold. Some of these ruins have gold blocks at the top, and the same thing happens in the overworld. Like, they have the gold blocks at the top around the portal, netherrack around it, but instead they have stone bricks, which is very interesting. It really tells like some sort of story that these ancient people, either had or tried this connection between the Nether and the overworld, and they left all these portals here from a long time ago, and it really all ties together, I think, in that sense. Like, this kind of theory really ties together between, remnants of the Bastions, ancient debris being in those Bastions, us not being able to use or open their chests, and having ruined portals both in the Nether and the overworld. like even the in the Minecraft website they said wonder who built them. Like it's really interesting that there's definitely some sort of like ancient civilization or creature that was able to in fact the portals are a little bit bigger than what a normal portal would look like, and there are fossils in the Soul Sand Valley. So I wonder if we can find a very structured, what is it? I think they're backbones or maybe ribs of those fossils. I wonder if those fossils kind of line up with how big the portal is to see if those kind of creatures could fit through. That's an interesting thing. I haven't looked into that. I really just came up with that just now. So that's something definitely we should look into to see if maybe those creatures that are fossilized in the Soul Sand Valley are the creatures that maybe could have fit through the portal. I don't know, but I think this is definitely something that we should be thinking about, and something that, you know, Minecraft is definitely alluding us onto. We have to, you know, put all our minds together and think of some more lore ideas. But nevertheless, I think Piglin Bastions, Ruined Portals, these things add so much to the game, to survival, to speedruns, and to lore. I think it's insane. For some, I guess, honorable mentions, I think the chain block can very well be useful as well. I think it can look good as a building block. I'm still picturing some things of using chains just as decorative, even without lanterns. And so hopefully I'll be able to get some of that out soon. I'd love to try that. And I think that's cool. I still think that, you know, given that we have chains, I think maybe they should just change the recipe to be like 3 iron nuggets rather than using an iron ingot, so that it's cheaper than iron armor and we can use it to craft chain armor. I think like that makes sense. I don't see like why there's chain, like a chain block and chain armor, but they don't mix. So I think, you know, next snapshot they should change the recipe, because if, as one of my people said during the live stream, in one of the comments, I noticed that, you know, if we actually look at it, it would be more expensive if we use the same recipe now to craft chain and then use the chain to craft chain armor. It would be more expensive than iron armor, and that doesn't make sense. So they should definitely first change the chain recipe and then use chain to make chain armor. I think that would be super cool to finally have a realistically craftable way to do it. It just, like, we can't leave that gap. We can't leave that gap. We can't have chain block, chain mail armor, and not have them interact. But nevertheless, that's everything from me, Minecrafters. Remember, don't be a Fortnite fool, Hyto hypocrite, or Roblox reject. Always, always, always be a Minecraft master. Make sure you stay blocky,